What's going on, guys? Before I get into this review, I want to say something real quick. Out of all the One Piece volumes I've seen so far, this has the absolute best cover art. This is so fucking nice, dude. Like, and I like the fact that just on the top, it says Paramount War, and it lets me know obviously this is what the arc's gonna be called. But the other thing is it lets me know that Oda definitely pays attention to his word choice, because to use something like Paramount lets me know that this is going to be really, really epic. And just the way that Whitebeard came in the last chapter, you knew that big things were going to follow. But look at this cover art. You have Luffy right in the middle of everything, and this huge figure that's overseeing him is, or overtaking him, is Whitebeard, but Luffy's lined up right down the middle. So one thing that kind of jumps out at me is, are we seeing a situation where Luffy is going to be in the mix of everything? He's not really going to have a side. He's going to be driven by his own ambitions. And the fact that he's on his own without his crew, I know he's got new allies, but he doesn't have his crew. And this is really the first real arc that we've seen Luffy have to face a huge problem without Zoro and Nami there to back him up. The first two people who joined his crew. And I think that's pretty interesting. And the fact that you have people on both sides of Luffy drawing their swords, it lets me know there's a possibility that Luffy's going to be fighting on both sides. And so this is going to be really interesting. And then this one other thing, the fact that Luffy is getting involved in a squabble that directly deals with one of the four emperors, and you have this said emperor overseeing Luffy, and Luffy's right in the middle of things. If you look, only Whitebeard and Luffy are in the middle. So I'm wondering, is this a possibility? And I might be jumping too big on this, but is this a possibility? Is this Oda saying that maybe Luffy, before he becomes Pirate King, actually becomes one of the four emperors? Because we got a little tease in it where Buggy was saying that he wanted to kill Whitebeard. So it only seems right that with Luffy being lined up like this, I don't know, maybe Oda's going somewhere with this. I said it before, Oda doesn't waste panels, and your cover art is really huge. There can be spoilers on this, and it's more so on the cover pages, but Oda tends to tell stories with the cover pages. And if you go back with the Naruto stuff, a lot of the stuff that happened later in the series was actually spoiled on the cover pages. And in some of the cover jackets like this one, more often than not, it was on the cover pages, hidden in plain sight. And so I'm wondering if this is a situation like that. So with that being said, I am going to get into the review now. I just wanted to point this out because this is some absolutely beautiful artwork. Yo, what's up, people? It's your boy, the Kryptonian, saying, wait, Kryptonian saying, but you got a Batman shirt on. Are you really Batman? Yo, what's up, people? So, One Piece chapter 552? Dude, Oda came through again, right? I ain't gonna lie to you, Oda came through again. I really love what I'm seeing out of this one, man. So, let me get this straight, okay? We get the flashback sequences, okay? Where you're seeing Ace's journey up until the point where he gets to now. This better be like given extended filler in the anime, because this is really good. This is one of those times I wish Oda just gave us a full chapter full of flashbacks. And to a certain extent this was, but Oda, did a very skillful thing here where he got you in the presence. You see Whitebeard, and this dude is super hacks, man. He ate the, I think they call it the trimmer fruit, but Whitebeard just cracks the air. And this is before you get the explanation he's got devil fruit. And I'm like, he cracked the air. I was like, get the fuck out of here. I was like, I couldn't believe that at first. And then you see this tsunami showing up. I'm like, how strong is this dude? Like everything that I had in as far as expectations before this, everything I had has been completely just turned upside down. I didn't know that there was someone this powerful out there. It's like, oh my God, this would be a great way to put it. A 10 in New York, okay, is something that you hear about, okay? And I'm talking, beauty standards. Like a 10 in New York is something that you hear about it if you're never from there. But once you get there and you see a 10, you're like, oh my God. Whereas like a 10 in your hometown might be a 6 or a 7 in New York. You see what I'm saying? Like, I thought I knew what Whitebeard could do. I don't know shit. I don't know shit. This war, this war is gonna be some next level shit, dude. Next level shit. And I really feel like this is just Oda. Oda didn't even put the tip in, okay? Like, his sexual joke come up, but Oda didn't even put the tip in. No. So Oda did, he just unzipped the zipper right here. You don't even know what the package looks like. He just unzipped it. And he's like, prepare yourself. I wasn't expecting that, man. And just to go off of Ace's flashbacks, what makes this so nuts is you see Ace and Luffy with that promise, and Ace is just telling Luffy, like, hey, I'm about to set sail now. I'm like, wait, he's going on that rinky-dink ship by himself with nothing? I'm like, are you serious? And I'm like, wait a second. That's what Luffy did. And I'm like, oh, okay, you got the parallels. That's pretty cool. I like what Oda did here. I got Luffy telling him, like, hey, man, in 3 years, I'm going to set sail just like you did. And I'm going to get really powerful. I'm going to be stronger than I was when you saw me last, man. Have fun out there on the sea. And so you have that pact between brothers. And what I thought was so cool about that is you see Garp's reaction. He says, that little runt became a pirate. And you're like, oh, okay, so this is the moment where Garp kind of realizes that Ace is following in his father's footsteps. And now it makes sense why Garp had the reaction that he did. Because it's just like he went through so much to keep Ace alive. And now he's just throwing it all in his face. So I like that. It adds another layer to Garp. And, you know, this is what I mean. Like, Oda does a good job developing his secondary characters. So I liked what I saw here. And then the other thing that I thought was really, really cool is you have Whitebeard reading. He's just like, who's this little upstart? And then in the next breath, I don't know if that was Oda's way of showing maybe some time progressed, but Ace had gotten so powerful that the world government approached him. And this is the ironic part. They approached him to be one of the 7 warlords, but Ace turned it down. Now, this is what's interesting. Probably back then, they didn't know that Ace was Roger's son. It makes sense. Because, I mean, look at what happened in the last chapter when they're explaining everything. And so it makes you wonder, what if Ace would have taken that role? How would the story have changed if they would have found out, you know, oh shoot, one of our warlords is Roger's son? Would they let him stay on simply for the fact that it's the ultimate spit in the face of Roger that one of his children, his only child that survived all this, is actually working for the world government, or would they still execute him? I think they would still execute him just out of that fear that someone else will take the call. And that kind of segues into something else that happened in this chapter where Ivankov is just talking. He says, man, you and Ace's father. And Ace and Luffy's like, Ace, oh, no. I was like, wait, you got all this mixed up. Ace's dad is Gold Roger. My dad is Dragon. There's a big difference. Oh, yeah, don't get mad. Ace used to get so pissed off at me because I used to say, Roger's your dad. He sounded really cool. Ace didn't want to hear that, though. And Ivankov was just like, what the hell did you just say? And you got Luffy like, oh, that was supposed to be a secret. I just love this. Again, this is that idiot main character trope. And I don't remember what it's actually called, but it actually goes into one of those tropes, and it isn't just a shonen trope. It's actually a comedic trope. I think on the west side of Japan, where you have like the idiot, and then you have the one that corrects him. It's like it's Suki something, and then you got the bulk. I mean, it's a comedic trope. You know, you have the idiot, you have the unaware idiot, or the guy who gets things wrong, and then you got the one that corrects them, and sometimes it leads to a slap on the head or getting hit or whatever. And that's like the Nami Luffy thing that kind of gets in there because they feed into each other. And that's what Ivankov is kind of getting set up on there for. So it looks like Ivankov in a way is going to kind of take Nami's role in this, where Luffy says something stupid and then he's going to correct him. And because of who his father is, I don't see Ivankov hitting him, though he's probably going to shout at him and some more stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool. But Getting back into Ace, you have got to be kidding me, okay? Like, Ace gets mad respect from me because he gets his own crew, he challenges Jinbe, and they end up fighting for 5 days. He ends up falling over. Then he ends up meeting Whitebeard. He challenges Whitebeard, and Whitebeard's like, oh wow, you're still surviving even after all of this. And you can just tell, like, Ace was going for it. Ace was leaving everything out there. And that in itself it just shows you that he is the Pirate King's son. And even if he wasn't, Ace is just so special because I've always said, if you're going to commit all the way. Don't half-ass do anything. And that's what Ace did at this point. Ace was going to be a pirate, and if he never joined Whitebeard, I think that he probably could have followed in his father's footsteps, because you can't teach that determination. And I really feel like Ace is on that path to surpassing Whitebeard. I really feel like that. And so if Whitebeard holds up to his promise, if he holds up to his promise and he says, look boy, I'm going to save you. We're going to get you out of here. You didn't go after Blackbeard on your own. I told you to do it. Just like a father telling the son, like, look, I don't care how many times you fuck up. I'm always going to be there to pick you up when you fall. Just remember that. If Ace gets out of this, there's no way in hell he doesn't surpass Whitebeard, because he has that determination. The guy tried to kill Whitebeard 100 times. Just let that sink in. Even after his crew gets defeated and basically put on Whitebeard's ship, and Ace has been humiliated because losing in the manner that he did, that's a humiliation, and having to be spared by the person who defeated you instead of killed. That's an insult to your honor as a warrior. I get why Whitebeard said, like, hey, you should work for me. You got potential, but Ace has that pride. You don't make it as far as he did without that pride. So I thought that that was really, really, really cool. And the fact that you see this one scene where Ace has a knife, he's covering the flames, and he's trying to kill Whitebeard, totally doesn't happen. You see Ace forming all these bonds with the people on the ship. He eventually gets thrown into the ocean at one point when he tries to kill Whitebeard. Whitebeard's just like, look, dude, we're trying to sleep here. Like, if you don't sit your young ass down somewhere, it's like when you were at Thanksgiving, all right? And let me rephrase this one. I was at Thanksgiving because, we all didn't have the same upbringing. I remember when I was at Thanksgiving and people come over to my grandma's house and everything, and you would have like the kids table and you would have the grown folks table, right? Well, I want to go sit my ass at the grown folks table, right? I was just like, yo, well, I got to sit here. And they kept me down there until I was about 13, man. It just pissed me off. And I was like, why I got to sit down here with the kids, man? Get the fuck out of here. I was a kid, though. Even though I was 13, I was still a kid. And when I tried to sit at that table, my uncle, and I don't think I've said this in a review, I might have, but I mean, it's been so long since Blackbeard was introduced, but my uncle has a build very similar to Blackbeard. He's really, really hefty size. He has the hair similar to Blackbeard, only keeps his in a ponytail. And I remember he picked my ass up and put me at the kids' table. I literally just picked my ass up and stuck me at the kids' table and said, look, sit the fuck down. We're having Thanksgiving. Don't be showing out right now. Like, that's the type shit right there that Whitebeard was doing, man. So I'm already loving this guy even more for that, man. Now, the other thing on this is, out of those bonds that we see, we actually see Ace and Blackbeard speaking. And I like how Blackbeard gets told, like, hey, man, you should be Whitebeard's division leader. It should be you. There's a vacancy. You've been serving him the longest. You should take up that mantle. And right there, you see the seeds being planted. Blackbeard's like, I have no ambition to be a division leader. You should take it. And so when he leaves and he kills one of the people that Ace bonded with, very, very good. And see, what I love about this is, it continues that cycle with what makes a good character. And what we're seeing here and what makes Ace a good character is we see his internal conflict. We see his weaknesses as a character, that pride, that hot-headed nature, which totally fits with his personality and fits with his devil fruit ability. and we see it come in an external conflict type of form. We see everything come to a head. So I like what you see here. There's some really good character development for Ace at this point, and I like how Oda has a lot of close-ups of Ace's face to convey that emotion, but also to kind of build up the whole thing for the tragedy, because it's tragic in the sense of, look at where Ace is now. He's on the verge of being executed if Whitebeard can't save him. Look at what started it all. And even Whitebeard, at one point, the way he's looking at Ace, it just shows you that he's realized that this is what it's come to. And you can tell his heart's breaking to see Ace at this point. And I like how you have Kizaru, and you have, I think it's Akino, and you have Aokiji. They just sitting there and they're like, man, this is to be expected. This is going to be troublesome. And you got Aokiji, he got the legs crossed, just looking. I'm like, Aokiji don't give a fuck, man. It's like him and Kizaru, like they just have that look like, yeah, whatever. If it happens, it happens. But it looks like Aokiji has a greater interest in it, just because if you look at the panel, he's drawn closer to the reader. Like if you got the manga volume in front of you, he's sitting right here. It's closer to you. So I'm looking at that and I'm going, he's got a vested interest in this fight. And it's like Oda, again, because of panel placement, he's trying to show you that more than likely Aokiji has interest in the fight. You have Akino, who's right in the middle. We haven't seen him yet, which means that he's probably the strongest admiral out of all of them, okay? Because he's right there in the middle. So he's the center of attention, if you will, when it comes to the admirals. And what's also interesting about this is when you look at how Luffy is watching all this and he says, I can't see because of the fog, it just shows you how far Whitebeard's power stretch, and how the hell is Luffy going to be able to keep up at this point. So the only thing I could see happening, and depending on how this gets done, the only thing I could see happening for this to justify is that since this is a battle shonen, it's an adventure shonen, but it has a lot of battle shonen elements. Somehow during all of these fights that are going to be taking place, Luffy getting right in the mix of things, I could see a scenario where Luffy gets stronger with each fight. And so this helps him improve, and it only makes sense that he improves at a drastic rate, because when he reconvenes with his crew, they're going to be going to a new world, and you're going to have guys like this all over the place. So he has to be that anchor that can hold down the Straw Hats whenever they get into something serious. So he needs to have this happen. Basically Luffy's about to get his cherry popped, and the person ain't about to be gentle. So this is going to be interesting. And I do want to end off with this. I want to know, and this is just me speaking, saying I want to know. I don't actually want to know, so don't spoil me on this. But I'm really interested to know how Boa Hancock's going to play in this. Because she's lined up with all of the warlords of the sea that are fighting for the world government. But we know that Boa Hancock, she want that Luffy. She want a hand on Luffy's cock. And if you look at how she's drawn in this chapter as well, it goes back to the other thing I was saying. She's drawn closest to the reader. So again, panel placement. She's drawn closest to the reader, and it just makes me wonder just what the fuck are we about to see from Boa Hancock, man? Where does her loyalty lie? And my chapter question to you guys, I'm going to keep this one simple. Out of all of Ace's flashbacks, okay, which one resonated with you the most? For me, the one that gets my creative juices going the most is that line about the 7 warlords and Ace turning it down. But the one that gets me emotionally is that line about Garp saying, I can't believe he became a pirate. It just shows you, like, this is the one thing Garp didn't want. And it's like fate has intervened. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, share. Thank you so much for watching the end of the video, guys. Have an